These guys are going to want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh, my God.
God, what?
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Ray Alfala into the outside wall.
He's gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Racely to the inside goes Logan Clapman is gonna touch in. Pit press, sideways, what a save!
Look to the outside, and Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
I'm going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though. Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Leonard drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schumacher, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction. He's going with the outside. Both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up to
Oh my God. Big crash. Oh my goodness. Half the field's going to get rolled.
Six very close. These guys are going to want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh, my God.
God, what?
Skip Barber Series. We are still at Silverstone Circuit Historic Grand Prix. That means no Abbey chicane. That means no Vale chicane. It means flat out, it means some high speeds for these slipstreaming cars, and qualifying is happening right now for race 2. It's the 25-minute race with a required pit stop. Well, qualifying probably not as important in this race as in race 1, Cam, but certainly it seems like if you can be in the top 5, that could be a benefit, because for some equally matched drivers, passing was actually surprisingly difficult.
Yeah, certainly. There's a few drivers out there who didn't quite seem to be able to use the draft that's to its full potential, or possibly left moves a little bit too late, unfortunately. So we'll have to see what happens in this race, as we see Ben Snell doing a bit of Tokyo drift on the way through the final sector. But yeah, certainly it'll be interesting to see what happens in this race. And that pit stop is really going to throw a little bit of a cat amongst the pigeons scenario for a few of these guys. So we'll see who ends up where, and hopefully it'll give a few more guys a little bit of a shot at moving their way up through the field.
Drivers are going to get a couple qualifying laps before the time runs out. I'm seeing they're allowed 4 flying laps, and with this being a Grand Prix layout, they're not going to get an out lap and 4 done in 10 minutes. So it's going to be about getting as many laps in as you can before the buzzer. We've got the first flying lap in from a couple drivers, and that, interestingly, puts Alex McKellar runner-up in race 1 on pole position for the moment, ahead of Alex John James Chastanoff. But Cam, you would be very familiar that probably the first lap isn't the best lap with how long the pressure and temperature takes to come in on these tyres.
Yeah, you're certainly going to see the tyres start to come up to temp roughly, depending on the track, and it's temperature roughly 3 to 4 laps roughly. So you'll see guys probably start to set proper representative laps on this third lap, as Ben Snell puts himself up to the top of the timing sheet with a 2:01.733. Like John, not too far behind, and then we'll see what everybody else starts to come in with. But certainly it's going to be all about making sure with that third lap that you can get a proper lap in. Otherwise, you might find yourself starting a little bit down the order as a result. McKellar goes to pole as well. Russell Clark in P4 by the looks of it. So everybody's starting to set some reasonable laps, but still probably not the ultimate pace that they probably want to be doing.
How close do you want it for the top 3, though? All of them within a tenth of a second on a lap that is more than 2 minutes for these cars. So that is very, very close. Blink and you'll miss it kind of stuff. Russell Clark in 4th would need to find about half a second to catapult himself into that top 3, which is still a tall order. Christian Perez, 1 time on the board, not very representative whatsoever. I wonder what is going on. There he's going to go and put it to the very top of the board. And he's going to have time, I think, for 1 more flying lap here as well. So really taking his time to pull out the party tricks.
Yes, certainly. He's only just going to get another lap in at this point if he doesn't make any mistakes on this lap at least. So he's certainly put himself up the pointy end of the field, and certainly is in the position that he wants to be in, and very, very nice lap time to be with the gap that he's got over Alex McKellar at the moment. But we'll have to wait and see if anybody else can step up to the plate and challenge that lap time. A few more coming across the line at this time. Behind Ben Snell, one of them to finish his 3rd and will probably be final lap. With the fact that there's less than 2 minutes on the board, is that's not going to be a counted lap, unfortunately. So could have been pole, but it's just not to be, unfortunately, this time by.
Interesting to see which drivers get another lap, which don't, because McKellar, big improvement to the top. Alex John, Russell Clark also with some good improvements as well. The times keep getting quicker. Stuart Crawford's found the barrier a little bit. Here's Alex John still pressing on for another lap. Do you think laps in progress are still going to get counted when the checkered flag waves, Cam?
I'd say that's probably going to be quite a fat no, based on the fact that solo qualifying. So I'd say it's going to be a hard cut qualifying, and if you're not on a lap within that 2 minutes, you're probably out of luck, unfortunately. So probably going to be a few drivers, unfortunately, not going to be able to set a fourth time, but nevertheless, they'll hopefully have done a good lap in their first 3 laps. We'll see what's going to happen with the likes of Patrick Soulis and also Dean Russell, as Perez improves to go with a 2 minutes .919, so even bigger gap to P2, and certainly putting himself in a very, very nice position as far as lap time goes.
Yeah, he's looking to lock out pole positions across both races. And, yeah, McKellar, Russell Clark can't do anything about it. They're back in the pit lane. Only a few drivers left on track, and I think time is going to run out for Scott Bartin here. And indeed it is. That is qualifying for the feature race. Done, locked away, and in the bag. Christian Perez, 2 from 2 for pole positions in qualifying in this first round of a new series. So he is making a lightning start in Ozicar Formula Skip Barber Series. Let's pull up our graphic for the starting grid, as they're all going to begin to form up now and take their positions for the standing start. It's going to be Christian Perez on pole, Alex McKellar in second. Next row is Russell Clark and Alex John. Then Ben Snell, Scott Bartin, James Chastanoff, Dennis Hancock, Braden Martin, and Jason Fewens rounds out the top 10.
Certainly a very stacked top 10, and then you can have VERNEY, Patrick Soulis, Crawford, Wilkinson, Russell, Cornt, Williams, Cousins, Felberg, Summers, Dobner, Pedersen, Doyle, Bush, and Leisure to round out the field.
Well, there you go. Our grid of Skip Barbers getting ready. Christian Perez, pole position, curiously, is the outside of the grid, the outside for turn 1, but it didn't trouble him at all in race 1. He got a good drop on the clutch, good pickup, and led away into turn 1, regardless of whether it was the inside, the outside, clean side, dirty side of the track. Now, all are on the grid, getting ready. They are revving, and maybe a jump start there from McKellar. He rolled a little bit to now get into the action. Decent jump again from Christian Perez, but McKellar, I think, might have gotten a bit eager with that clutch, Cam.
It might have been the case. We'll have to see what happens in a few laps time, whether he has a long pit stop or not. But nevertheless, if that is the case, it's not going to be the best start to his championship or this race for that matter.
No, looking for a cleaner start than race 1, as single file up the front of the field, not necessarily the case a little further through, but the changes of direction, Beckett's Chapel eventually sorts some of them out. Ben Snell, we saw him try to charge back through the end of race 1. He's already made 1 position in race 2, snatching 1 away from Alex John. Now he's right up behind a teammate in Russell Clark for a podium position. Tyres starting to come into the window, but who's going to make their pit stop at the end of lap 1? Some seem like they want to do. Everyone now in race 2 following the Christian Perez line. And, well, just following wherever he goes because they want to stay with that draft at this early point in the race before the pit stops. Under the bridge they go, and that's going to be back at Soulis around the outside. Nathan Verney. Now, but other way it was through bridge where it looked like Martin was trying to steal that one away from back at Soulis. 1 lap completed now, and many... Oh, what a late call for pit lane there. What a late call on a pit lane. McKellar and Clark continue, but Perez, Snell, John, Chastanov, Hancock, Bartin, back at Soulis, all on the classic pits here, as they're going to take their mandatory tyre change, try to get it out of the way early.
Yeah, certainly a very, very big flurry of pit stops in the pit lane on lap 1 from pretty much everybody, well, pretty much at least half the field, if not 3/4. So certainly a number of people getting that pit stop out of the way. And Perez is actually nearly being beaten out of pit lane by Alex John by the looks of it. No, sorry, that's Ben Snell. And Ben Snell's actually going to beat him out of pit lane. So that's going to be position gained for Snell. And that was a very, very close entry on exit on pit lane. And Alex John has gained a few positions as well as a result.
I don't want to question it too much, but surely with the blue cone, only one of those pit exits is legal to use, right?
You'd think so.
I mean, in the absence of a blue cone, it's all fair game, but the blue cone has a line that demarcates where you have to exit the pit lane. Interesting. Well, Perez down the inside here on Ben Snell. This was for the lead of the cars that have pitted. This is for the lead of the cars that haven't. Are Clark and McKellar going to respond to what everyone else is doing? Or do they think they can stretch this out for a couple more laps, go longer into the race? I want to suggest the way they're all over the place, they're maybe not pulling away from those who have pitted.
Let's see if this sort of strategy is going to end up actually working for them, especially as to whether or not there's going to be enough pace. But they're coming in this time by, so they've made the call to decide to react to everybody pitting on lap 1. So we'll see what's going to happen when they exit the lane. Verney, Martin, Crawford, Russell all come in. Quant stays out there, and so does Cousins. Patterson coming down onto the lane. Williams stays out. Dobner comes in, and Fields as well.
Yeah, we certainly have the top 3 all come in, and it's popular. Just Quant and Cousins and Leon Williams staying out at the moment. Now, McKellar's one of the ones we wanted to watch the pit stop time there, didn't we? He's still waiting is Alex McKellar. I think, has he been done for jumping that start, do you reckon?
I'd say probably has, if he's still stationary and the wheels aren't up in the air, so that's going to really hurt him. Unfortunately, he's going to drop right to the tail of the field as a result of that penalty, so he'll be absolutely seething with himself over that simple little mistake. But nevertheless, we'll see what he can do from here. And Russell Clark's off the road.
I think Clark's had a problem on the pit exit. I think he's come out of the pits, has he? Yep, and on his outlap there, he was right level with Perez and Snell, and gone and sort of thrown it. Well, not even right level. He was basically your race leader after the way the pit stop had gone. There's no grip at the rear there. Has he gone and done the Team Milo special and accidentally changed the rear tires instead?
Think so. It looked like the fronts only went up, so yeah, not sure what's going on there. Possibly just a little bit of a mistake on cold tires, and that's unfortunately cost him a lot of time. But nevertheless, he'll be trying to recover this one. He's got a few cars to pass to get back to where Christian Perez and Ben Snell are a little bit up the road, and it might be a little bit of a hard task to catch up to those two, but he'll at least try to salvage a podium from here.
3 drivers yet to pit is your top 3 on the timing column. Then the excitement is all with Perez and Snell, who've made their compulsory pit stop, cleared that out of the way, and lead amongst all of those drivers who have made compulsory service.
And still going around as well, so we'll have to see where they end up popping out in the end. Well, when they do decide to pit at least, but for the meantime, I don't think there's going to be really much to gain. They've been doing 3s and 4s. When you compare that to the rest of the field, they're somewhat on pace, but it's certainly not at least what the leaders at the moment.
Sulis has done a bit of cops mowing on the outside, bounced it across the curb, I think, and spun back towards the inside. Another virtual racing school replay. And I think what we're going to see is over-ambitious through cops, skids out a little bit wide, and then on the far side of the curb, it's not as grippy as the racetrack is, and it snapped back the other way, luckily. And I think, importantly, he's kept that off the barrier.
They just lost the rear end and caught that AstroTurf as well, which we've seen many, many times catch out so many drivers, and it ends up being quite fatal. But this time, managed to get away with this one. Has Filipino will continue on his way, albeit a little bit down the order, but nevertheless, we'll have to see what he can do from here. But Ben Snell still pressuring Perez at the moment and continues to be a little bit patient. Doesn't really need to fire one down the inside, although he had a look that time by on the way through bridge, but couldn't quite get the move done. Was a little bit too far back, but certainly he's applying the pressure in bucket loads is Ben Snell, and certainly making him work for it.
Absolutely is. No one is faster out on track than Perez and Snell right now. Perez, last lap, set the fastest lap of the race with a 2-minute 1.7. He's about to come to the timing line now. What's it going to look like? Wow, faster still into the 2-minute 0.9 there. Fastest lap for Ben Snell was just about exactly equal with Perez. So they don't need to worry about the top 3 in front because they're reeling them in. They're within their pit stop window. Cornt, Cousins, and Williams are all going to come out behind these two when they make their service. And they're also pulling away from those 2 cars you saw behind in the back of shot, Alex John and Nathan VERNEY.
Yeah, they certainly are facing their pace there. Not too dissimilar to where the likes of Martin and Clark and that are at the moment, so they might be okay for a top 10 finish if they keep going it the way they are. But they're currently trying to find a way on BRAYDEN. Russell going to be using the draft down the hang straight very, very nicely to close that gap up, but probably not going to be able to get a move done at least this time by on the way into the corner at the end of the hanger straight. Not quite getting an optimal exit either, so not quite going to be able to get that done, but still at the front of the field. Perez continuing to fend off the charge from Ben Snell, just continues to sit in behind and bide his time until that very last lap where he knows he's going to be able to make that move and make it more than likely stick, but we'll have to see what sort of challenge Perez is going to be able to put up.
It's a bit of a repeating story from race 1 here. Christian Perez, great qualifying, great lap speed, but there's just always some hanger-on, some freeloader hitched to his wagon that he just can't shake. Maybe they don't have the outright speed on their own to really fight him, but they've got enough, consistent enough to stay with him. Now, this is a longer race, still with a lot of laps to go. Aggressive line there for Snell.
He's certainly using all the curve that he possibly can, all the racetrack, and a little bit extra to his advantage by the looks of it, trying to keep up with Christian Perez, who seems to be a little bit quicker through the technical sections, but keeping it within draft range is certainly Ben Snell's aim at this stage, at least, before they get to the final lap of the race. And further back in the field as well, Ira Felberg still continuing to pressure Dean Russell. He's actually closed that gap up quite a bit over the last lap or so. So going to be possibly setting up a move in the next lap or so. But this battle as well just ahead inside the top 10 with the likes of Barton, Martin and Clark. And Clark's managed to get by both of those drivers now as well. So he's going to be in at P8 and using the Christian Perez line as well does Clark. Well, Martin and Barton use a little bit more of a typically natural line, but doesn't look like it's really gained all that much from using that special line that Clark did.
A rule is only as strong as it's enforced, and it doesn't seem like there is any enforcement for getting everything all on the inside of the curb there. Here's a big move and late from Bartin. Trying to... Well, Martin's having none of it, that's for sure.
He's certainly not having any of it at all at the moment, and he's going to try to come back at him. And Martin's going to stay ahead of Barton at the moment. And coming down onto the lane now is, I believe, Cameron Cousins. He's going to be getting his pit stop out of the way.
And they've actually just gone and passed Leon Williams, who hasn't made his pit stop yet. So Williams is a whole pit stop behind the leaders now. And Tim Cornt is only 13 seconds up the road. And I think the total pit service is kind of close to 35 seconds. So there's never any doubt they're the fastest guys out there. And they had some pretty quick pit stops. Christian Perez and Ben Snell are absolutely driving themselves into a position where there's no way Cornt can make his pit stop and stay ahead. On board with Martin, you see exactly how much he's just trying to follow the car in front, exactly their line, stay right in their wind wake. And that's enough to get him down the inside at Stowe. Is he going to make the corner? Not a whole lot. He got in there very, very hot. And I think that means he's gonna lose out on that one. But it was ambitious.
Yeah, it certainly was ambitious, and Fuen's going to find a way on it by the likes of Jeremy Bush, as they come on through towards the back end of the section. Bush looking very, very strong, though, on the brakes and on the way in as Fuen gets a little bit loose. It's going to end up having it to run a little bit deep. Was a little bit of contact between those two as well. So Bush is just going to let Fuen's back ahead, but certainly not what those two want to be doing at all.
Well, it depends, doesn't it? They might want to get a bit racy, get a bit of race on, but they definitely don't want to get in an accident, cost themselves some good points early in this championship. The point structure really, really favors consistency. You would know that, Cam, but that means a DNF is very, very costly.
Yeah, it certainly is very, very costly, although it's not the end of the world if you know you've got very, very good pace and can get some nice results under your belt across the entire season to recover those lost points. But
slowdown for Perez, is it? Is that a
slowdown, I think, for Perez, but it could be some gamesmanship.
Could be. He so successfully defended the lead. We're going to take another look, a second glance at his line through Maggots and Beckett's. A little earlier than that. There's definitely some of those curbs there that you want to cut on the left here and then immediately on the right. That's, I think, okay, this is the one I don't know. You can get a little bit too, or is it there?
Not sure. Yeah, I don't know.
I think he had the tires all on the left-hand side of the white curb, and then he rolls out of the throttle. Let's get the super slow-mo. I don't know. But I'm thinking this left-hander here, he might have been just... What a mystery. What a mystery, Cam.
Wouldn't surprise me if there's a little bit of gamesmanship involved in that.
I mean, slowdown is definitely possible there, but it was hard to see anywhere that Perez went that Snell didn't also.
Who knows? I think we might have to ask after post interviews.
Something to think about. Leon Williams is going to go for pit lane for his pit stop, leaving just Tim Cornt yet to make the required 2-tyre change in this race. Still got a couple laps to do it, but it can't be right at the very end of the race. It's got to be within the very, very broad window. Can you keep these two apart in this race, though?
Yeah, it doesn't certainly looks like they're going to struggle to do that with the fact that these two have been duking it out for pretty much the entire race so far and have not left each other alone at all. And it looks like Barton's probably going to be moving ahead this time by of Martin as they head down the hanger straight, and it's closing up in the drafters. Barton is going to look to the inside. Yes, he is. Towards the following corner, he's going to launch it up the inside and take that one off Martin. Martin's going to try and get the cut back over those, setting the exit up, but probably not quite going to be close enough to be able to get that one done.
No, and it's so tough that it doesn't lead into another braking zone. You've just got to kind of have the inside for the left-hander, and it's yours as they go flat chat through Club and then later Abbey. Russell and Hancock with Ira Felberg just behind there, ready to swoop in if these two do what we saw others do in race 1, which is just battle side by side all the way through this final stadium sector of the lap. This isn't quite side by side, but there's a lot of attempt at going over under and crossing back the other driver, and I think it has led to a better exit for Bartin than Martin.
It does look like he's got a slightly better exit, does Scott, but we'll see what he does at turn 1. He's going to poke the nose out, but decide not to make the move on the way into turn 1 this time by, because he knows there's going to be a nice big straight just up the road to get a move done with some handy draft. So we'll see if Martin loses the position this lap or not, but they're still battling it out, and certainly is going to be a matter of who's going to be leading out of these two on the last lap of the race.
Chapel, critical for Perez as well. Running third, still waiting on pit stop from the car scored in first. Makes this battle for the race win. Can Perez take a full round sweep? All of the race wins, all of the pole positions. Well, he's got all the pole positions. He's got all of the race wins so far, but there is still just one more to be decided. Every battle we've seen him in so far, it looked like Perez has had the pace, had the measure of his opponents. Toying with Snell a little bit was the question. Back at Sulis, can't keep away from action. Jeremy Bush, Jason Fewens, and I think it's Alex McKellar who's going to take this one 3 wide. McKellar, we know, very, very quick, had to serve that penalty for the jump start. He's trying to go around the outside 3 wide at Abbey, and he ends up on the grass because there just isn't room, isn't grip for that. Cornt on the lane means Snell and Perez are going to finally cycle back through into the lead, and we will have our field absolutely cleansed, absolutely washed through into the correct and adjusted order. Now everyone has made the compulsory stop.
Yes, everybody's got their pit stop out of the way, and with 2 laps to go, yeah, probably don't want to still be out there and need to take it at this stage, and you might find yourself in a little bit of strife come the final lap when you end up with a possible penalties post race. So good to see everybody's taking their pit stop and starting to get a fair idea of where everybody is ended up coming out as well. And it looks like Tim Cornt has come out roughly just ahead of Stuart Crawford.
Yeah, 9th, 10th-ish. Perez is flying, though. He's going to take the look for the race lead. He set the fastest lap of the race last time, and he's got Ben Snell on the ropes. He's looking to deliver a 1-2 here. He's made Snell have to defend, made Snell get on the grass in a couple places. Now we're going to see the patent pending Perez line give him a great slingshot past where the new pit building exists, but not in this version of Silverstone. Side by side, nothing in it at Abbey. Perez trying to go around the outside. Still keeping his nose in it. It's going to give him the inside for Bridge. Can he throw it through into the lead with 1 lap to go? No, Snell's going to hold it around the outside. And once again, the side-by-side battling carries on through this segment. Corner, feeding into corner. No driver able to quite get the advantage. Perez had his nose in front, but then immediately around the outside for the next corner. Can he capitalize on the inside here? That's looking good.
Yeah, certainly looking very, very good. I'm surprised they actually went side by side for as long as they did. I did think, I was kind of wondering when one of them was going to back out and just let the other go for the final lap. But as they come through the final corner to get the white flag, it's going to be a drag race down the front straight between the two of them. Perez is going to have the ideal line with the inside, but Snell's going to try and cut around the outside of him on the way through turn 1. As he possibly just cost himself the race doing that, we'll have to wait and see. But keeping ahead of Perez at the moment. Doesn't look like he's letting up, and he's going to slot in ahead, so he'll keep the lead of this race, but it's probably not going to last for long as they come through Maggots and Beckett's and Cops. And I think it's fair to say that Perez is probably in a position to lose this one, well, lose more than what Snell does at this stage. But coming onto the hanger straight, Perez is going to tuck right up in behind on the way down the hanger straight. He's going to pull out to the outside with the fact that Snell has gone defensive. He's going to go right out to the outside to try and make the ideal line work, but Snell's going to have just enough momentum to hold the inside for the final corner, or the corner at the end of the straight, sorry, and he's just about going to have held onto it, but Perez has managed to get that one off him.
A little bit of adhesion around the outside of Stowe for Perez. He fought hard for that. It seems like early in the lap, you were right. Ben Snell's pursuit to lead every inch of the final lap kind of actually set him up for a bit of failure on the hanger straight. But he will not play dead here. He's going to go down the inside at Abbey. They can kind of go flat out too wide there, and he's gotten his way back to the lead, would you know it. One final sector. Perez looks to the inside. Nothing going there. Try to cross back, come around the outside like he did a lap ago. And he has made a bit of a mistake for Snell. This is where Perez got the lead a lap ago. He's got the short run through the line. He's got his nose in front, and it's going to need to be great drive covering the inside through the final corner for Christian Perez. He is going to get to the line and make it 2 from 2. Ben Snell made him work for 2 fiercely competed laps at the end there, but Perez gets what was his.
He certainly does in the end, and Brent Martin's going to win this little battle with Scott Batten, and he's going to end up taking it away. P6 is Martin, so be happy to win that one. Stuart Crawford actually managed to get on by Tim Cornt as well, so he'll take P9, and Cornt will have to settle for 12th. Hancock is going to come home in 11th ahead of Dean Russell as well.
A lot more cars on the lead lap in this second race than in the first one, which is great to see. Back at Soulis, well, he did that in race conditions at Cops. Now after the race, he's going to recreate a bit of a slide. That one doesn't get as close to the wall, though. Chastanov in 16th. What a surprise there. He also had a long stop like Alex McKellar. McKellar just pipped Darren Lesueur at the line for 19th, I think. Nope, it flicks back the other way. wow, what a race at the lead there, Cam. I mean, did Perez just, release a wild animal to hunt it again?
Well, you could probably say that, but who knows?
Well, what a hunt, what a fight it was, and at the end, it is 0.5 of a second that Perez takes the win with ahead of Ben Snell. Alex John completes the podium, and then Nathan Verney, good 4th place there. A bit quiet for everyone that wasn't the top 2 as they battled non-stop, but Russell Clark in 5th. What could have been? He could have been there in that lead tussle, were it not for that mistake on the outlap. Brayden Martin in 6th means a good result there for Doctor's Orders Racing. Scott Bartin in 7th, was definitely wearing the 111 Esports paint. Sean Doyle in 8th. Stuart Crawford 9th, I think, also in the 111 paint. They need to get onto the Simspeed Discord and submit their team information in the team database. And Tim Corn, very, very long on the tyres on the first stint, got 10th place.
You're going to have Dennis Hancock in 11th, Dean Russell 12th, Ira Felberg's going to come home in 13th, header Jason Fewins in 14th, Patrick Solis all around out the top 15. Chastanov comes home in 16th after starting at P7, so not a great race for him by the looks of it. Isaac Summers comes home in 17th, head of Cameron Cousins in 18th, 19th to Darren Lesu, and Alex McKellar rounds out the top 20 with Simon Dobner, Leon Williams, and Jack Patterson rounding out the cars on the lead lap. Bush and Wilkinson finishing laps down.
There you have it. I think it went from strength to strength from race 1 to race 2. Race 2, a lot tidier. The racing just as ferocious, though. So great to see we're back to true form in Ozicar Skip Barber Formula Series. Got a couple drivers we can speak to after that feature race, and I am gonna take 3rd place man, Alex John. Well, your last lap was very strong there, but just need to be within the slipstream of the leader, it seems like, around a circuit like this.
Yeah, I was conflicted as to what line to take through the long right-hander, so I don't know. I stuck to the inside the track. That's all I'll say. But yeah, it was tough as soon as you drop a little bit, especially with guys like Perez and Snell. You haven't got much chance.
A lot of time at full throttle, skipping a couple of chicanes on this layout. That means that the pack racing really forms up for these cars. Maybe not so much for you in the race 2, but race 1, you were definitely in and amongst a lot of battles we saw.
Yeah, race 1 was crazy. I think the first lap and the cold tyres, I think there was about 8 cars that went off. And it was just a matter of negotiating those guys. And then I went off myself on the first lap. So, 10 seconds dropped, but it was good fun though. Yeah, it was good fun to try and come through the pack. And that sort of track is fantastic for the skips, like a draft track like that. I wish it was on the official schedule because it's great.
Tell us about the team you're running with, and you seem like a bit of a new face to the series as well.
Yeah, I've been racing skips for a number of years, but I had sort of 2 years off. After the new tyre model came out, I really struggled. So when I did GT3 racing and that sort of stuff, but yeah, back with Top Split's TV racing team. Yeah, Alex McKellar, he's going to be strong. Unfortunately, he had a jump start, so tough for the team's points. But I reckon we should have a pretty strong season and hopefully edge out the Van Diemen's boys.
Definitely one for us to keep tabs on and punch the numbers into our calculator as we go through the season. Congratulations on a podium finish here, and who are you going to thank?
Oh, look, I'd like to thank you guys for chucking on a broadcast. I'm looking forward to sitting back and watching it back, and thanks to Ira and all the guys that are putting the series on. It's a strong field this season, so I think it's going to be awesome. Thank
you. 3rd place finisher in our feature race, Alex John. 2nd place man's going to be standing by with Cam Dance, and what a battle he had. It's Ben Snell who finishes it.
Yes, certainly a bad overall night for you, Ben, but there was possibly a few things you were a little bit disappointed with, possibly.
Look, it was a good night's racing. I had fun. I lost both the battles that I had at the end of the race, but someone's got to lose, and tonight was me.
Nevertheless, it's been a pretty strong start to the championship for you, and obviously consistency is going to be those things that's going to be very, very important. Are we gonna see you for the entire series this time out, or is it one of those things that you're just going to occasionally do?
Oh, I'm hoping that I'll be able to make every week. It's just take it week by week. But as far as I know at the moment, I don't have any other commitments on a Thursday night, so I should be here each and every week and try and take the championship fight to Christian.
Excellent to hear, and hopefully we get to witness such an awesome championship battle. Well, heading into next week, you obviously had a very, very good start. What's your plan going to be for next week, and are you looking forward to it at all?
Where are we going next week? I should probably pay more attention to that.
Lime Rock Park.
Lime Rock. Yeah, Lime Rock's fun. As long as it doesn't have the chicane, I'll be happy.
There you go. Very, very happy man with the fact that we're going to a track I particularly myself wouldn't particularly enjoy, but nevertheless, just before we let you go, any thanks and any shout outs you want to give?
Of course, shout out to Russell and the other guys at Van Diemen Racing. And it's so weird. I'm normally doing this for other Skippy stuff, but yeah, it's good to see the broadcast on. And big thanks to Ira and everyone for putting on the series.
There you have it, David. A reasonably happy second place finish, and I believe you're going to be staying by with our race 2 winner.
Not just our race 2 winner, our double pole sitter double race winner from round 1 of Ozicar Skip Barber Formula Series, Christian Perez. Great work in race 1. Bit of a fight in race 2 though.
Hello everyone. First of all, my English is a little bit easier, so please talk a little bit slow, ¿vale? Okay, yes, the first race was a little bit more calm, and the second one was very, very interesting. Fight with Ben. He's always super clean and yes, very fun.
Did you have a mistake that let him into the lead, or were you making some games and a challenge for yourself?
I was calming myself because I think maybe lap 7 or 8 I overdrive a little bit, so I thought, hey, I'm going to let him by, and I wanted to be the one who attack.
An interesting strategy. You made it work side by side for almost the last 2 laps. It seemed. Were you worried that maybe that was the wrong thing to do, even though it still worked in the end?
Well, maybe almost at the final on the back straight, I thought it was lost, but final I could fight with Ben and took the victory. But it was just for details, from little detail, that I won on the second race. So congrats to Ben for his race and Alex too for the podium.
Very easy for me to calculate. After 2 races, you have 2 wins. You're the championship leader. We're going to see you for all of the rest of the season to try to defend this.
Well, it will be hard that I can race all of the weeks, because here at Barcelona is the morning. So some days I will work. Hopefully, I can do great races to try to to equilibrate that.
It's a good start, and I hope you can bring some excitement to some more races, some more tracks later this season. Anyone to thank? Any team to support you?
Not not yet.
Okay, no worries. Congratulations once again.
Okay,
Race 1 winner,
David.
race 2 winner, Christian. Well done.
thank you. Ciao, ciao.
I nearly sent him down into the wrong room after that one. Nearly gave him an incorrect steer down the hallway. Well, Cam, I'm quite pleased after that one. Both races, the win, not just underneath a second, I think both times underneath a tenth of a second almost. Very competitive stuff for the return of Ozicar Skip Barber Formula Series.
A very, very nice way to return to normal proceedings with another season of this, and once again some very, very strong performances from a lot of drivers, so can't wait to see what the rest of this championship is going to hold, and certainly is going to be a very, very hotly contested championship, that's for sure.
You saw it. Next week we move from the wide open plains of historic Silverstone to the slightly tighter confines of Lime Rock Park with the same race format. It'll be here on Simspeed TV, so we look forward to seeing you then. From myself, from Fonty Producing, and who can dance alongside me, this is David Haynes saying good night. See you next week.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's going with the outside, both of them! Maloney! Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up the wall! Oh my god! Oh, big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys I want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Racely to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit crash sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside, and Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
I'm going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
I tried, there's contact though. Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Benner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit